All right, Ed, you're headed down to Seattle to watch the Whitecaps play the Sounders in their playoff decider to see if they move on to the next round or not. Obviously, let's not break down the game because we don't know what's going to happen, but let's break down their season. How important is this game into the future of how this market sees the Whitecaps?
Well, I think a couple of things. I think by and large it's been a successful season. You know, the record speaks for itself, but I also look at the players they've developed, players they can, who are going to be key parts of this team going forward. Yordi Rania, Jake Nerwinski, the goalie, Stefan Maranovic. I think these are going to be players the Whitecaps can follow. For me, the larger question is, can the Whitecaps compete with the best teams in MLS in this model? Because clearly they're not going to spend to the level of Seattle. I'm not sure where Portland fits in. They're not going to come close to Toronto. But can they be competitive? Can they push the best teams by being shrewd, by picking their spots to go after players, not blowing their bankroll on one or two guys, but kind of across the board. And I think that's the model we're seeing this year with their depth, with their balance. And but they have to prove they can beat these top teams with that model.
It's a really interesting question in terms of whether they make it to the next round or not, and then what their strategy for the offseason is. Because you mentioned Reyna, we have a known quantity of Montero, assuming they can keep him he's still on loan from a Chinese team. But you look at their players and say, what more do we need, or do we have enough here to let it grow? We know about Alphonso Davies. We think he'll be here at least another year. Who knows about that? But is there enough youth and star power in this team, or for you, are they still missing that one or two pieces of real quality to go out and get?
Yeah, for me they are, and that's what separates them from the top teams in the league. And you look at their history, and it's been a pretty distinct pattern. For me, in the really good years, they're 2, 3, maybe 4 games over 500. In the not so good years, they're a couple of games under 500. But they seem to be drawn toward that 500 mark, and to get over that hump, for me, it means going out and getting that impact player. Just look at the impact Freddie Montero had this season. And I'm not sure where he rates in terms of, the MLS strikers. I think he's, above average. Is he elite? Don't know about that. But just having him in the lineup took so much pressure off the complementary players. And it allowed guys like Rayner, when he stepped in, and gave him somebody to play with another high-level offensive player. So if you could somehow get an upgrade on that, and I know it's easier said than done than to find that guy, but that to me is what will push the Whitecaps to the next level.
Well, and that obviously, a playoff win takes them a long way with the fans. Even a name, you have a team that goes deep in the playoffs, it's easier to draw players from elsewhere. But we can say this, the Whitecaps are a lot farther along than they were in the days of Mustafa Jarju and Kenny Miller.